Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Prana with Milani. In this space, we talk about health, wellness, and share positivity and inspiration to uplift the human mind. Wishing you all a very happy Women's Day. Today, my guest is my dear friend, my brother, and also my health coach, Syed Abbas, whom I lovingly call Syed Bhai. Hi, Syed Bhai. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Melanie. It's truly an honor and privilege to be here today. Such an amazing day, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, just to briefly introduce you all to Saad Bhai, he is a health and wellness coach with a uh, special focus on weight loss and disease prevention through diet and nutrition and lifestyle modifications. He has had thousands of patients, thousands of clients over the years and with amazing success. So thank you, Sadbhai, so much for doing what you do. I'm sure that our viewers are going to gain a lot from this session today about health.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melanie, once again.
So, our topic for today is to talk about how women can achieve optimal or the best health. Women are the powerhouse of every family, of every household, really, and their health largely, the health of the family of the household largely depends on their own health and well-being, right? As they say, healthy women, healthy world. Happy women, happy world. Right. And so the reason I wanted to talk about this is so that we can, we can share tips and address the challenges, the very many health challenges that women are facing in this day, and see how they can overcome these challenges so that they can end up doing what they love doing the most. Yes?
Absolutely. Such
All
an
right. So with that, Saibhai, I'm going to start with my first question to you is, very basically, what is the role that diet and nutrition play in a woman's well-being?
yeah, that's a very good question, right? So basically, the way I see it, there are many pillars to health, right? But diet is one of the most important ones. Why? Because we, eat food many times during the day, and depending on what we eat, it can cause either health or lack of health. So to me, a health promoting diet is both healing and preventative at the same time. So in that way, it takes a center stage for women's health and of course everybody's health, but especially as you mentioned, for all the right reasons, for women's health as well.
Absolutely. So I've written down some questions, but one of the first questions I want to ask is that we cannot possibly talk about women's health without addressing women's hormonal health, right? How does diet and nutrition, or what kind of diet and nutrition can women adapt so that they can bring about this hormonal balance? We see a lot of women being diagnosed with thyroid, PCOS, PCOD, autoimmune diseases, and such. So, how can we address this through diet and nutrition?
Yeah, I mean, in my practice, especially, I see a lot of it's like an influx of these autoimmune issues, especially related with thyroid and many others, and it has actually exponentially increased in the last decade or so. Now, many of these autoimmune issues, like for example, arthritis is one of the main ones. A lot of people have it, and of course, a lot of people started to having a lot of thyroid-related issues, for which autoimmune is an underlying. For most of these thyroid conditions, autoimmune is a major underlying cause. Now, there are many reasons for that, why it happens, but most important are, of course, stress is a major one. We are living in a very stressful society, right? Everywhere stress comes to us, and that plays a major role in hormonal disturbance. Then, in terms of food, one of the biggest disruptor is dairy, and dairy foods, according to the scientific evidence, are major disruptors of hormonal balance in the body, as well as eating non-organic foods, especially which are sprayed a lot. So a lot of these non-organic foods are heavily sprayed by pesticides, and that can play havoc with women's hormonal system, as well as additives and preservatives in different type of packaged foods. So a combination of all that can play a big role in disturbing the very delicate balance of the hormonal system, right? So now, according to the research that has been done, it is clearly shown that diet actually can play a big role in reversing many of these autoimmune issues, if not completely eliminating it, and also bringing that balance that we all seek. Now, different type of diets have been checked to see which one has the biggest effect on it. So a diet which is very rich in whole plant-based foods, a variety of them, has the biggest impact on hormonal health. And I've noticed that in my own practice, a lot of people who come with these issues see a remarkable improvement just in few weeks time, as soon as they start eating a more variety of, let's say, fruits, vegetables, legumes and whole grains, and staying away from all the processed packaged foods, as well as dairy products. They see a big difference. So definitely a major concern, but there is always a solution.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I know that many years ago, my doctor too had recommended, actually, my holistic health coach had recommended that I go dairy free and gluten free, and I didn't know how to. And that's when I found you, and you helped me through this process. I think that that was one of the best things. I was starting to have body pains, I was starting to have irregular cycles. And so, of course, that worried me. And of course, it caused due to many reasons. But I completely agree with you on, adapting a vegan diet and staying away from processed foods and, preservative foods. Right on that. My next question is, I was reading, when we were getting ready for this, for this video, I was reading that, women are very prone to cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes. They're actually one of the top causes of death in women. So, I mean, that kind of shocked me. And so, how can diet work on preventing these, Syed?
Absolutely. And the unfortunate or the heartbreaking part in all this is 90% of these things can be completely prevented with the diet, with the right kind of diet. And that includes many type of cancers, of course, heart diseases, and then diabetes, type 2 diabetes. A lot of it is influenced by what we choose to eat and drink. So that's why they become even more heartbreaking when these things can be avoided. Now, this is a very interesting question because there are certain areas in the world which are called blue zones. Now, these areas there are about 5 areas which are identified, spread over the world, where the people live the longest and the most healthiest. And when they observe their diet and lifestyle to see what are they exactly eating, which contributes to their longevity, disease-free life, and they found out they are again eating a predominantly plant-based diet. Now they are not vegan as such, and they are not even 100% plant-based, but predominantly they eat no processed foods, no packaged foods as such, but a high amount of plant-based diet, right? With the minimum, very minimum amount of other things like from animal sources. So, of course, along with other lifestyle modification that they did, but diet played an important role. So, and this is backed by the science as well. So when a lot of scientific studies are done on comparing different type of diets, they found out that the diets which are very, very high, like the Mediterranean diet, which is very high in fruits and vegetables, right? They found out they are preventative in all these health issues. Now we can go a step further, and in terms of reversing many of these things, again, here also a whole plant-based diet has come out to be the top. So eating a lot of colorful, go all crazy on the shades, have a big salad, have a nice big smoothie. And as the weather changes to a bit more warmer, you can take more liberties in there. So definitely a diet which is, as I say, rainbow color diet is the best for your health.
Absolutely. I love and being guided and advised by you. I when I look at my plate, I make sure that there are more colors, there are more just of course whole food plant-based, but there are more varieties of vegetables, and I make sure that I eat a lot of fruits also, depending, and seasonal fruits also again. So I think that's really important and I love how you said that these can be prevented.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I love your fruit bowls, your veggie bowls. I mean, if somebody has not seen your bowls, they can go straight into a magazine. I mean, the way you present it, and that's another thing, right? A lot of people, once we present it nicely, you actually
Yeah,
feel like eating it too. So once you spread your colorful fruits and vegetables in front of you, you actually feel like eating them. And
absolutely.
y- you are literally an expert in that.
But all thanks to you, Saad Bhai. Really, I learned from the best. So, Saad Bhai, earlier in this conversation, and I did catch that when you said that a lot of these diseases are caused by stress, and we do know that when we're able to manage our mind, when we're able to manage our emotions, um, we're able to make better life decisions, and we're able to manage our food intake, right? And of course women, as I mentioned, powerhouse, the cornerstone of every family, they take on so much more responsibility, voluntary responsibility, really. And it's inherent in us, right, to do a million things and make sure that all works out. And of course, this can cause stress, this can cause panic, anxiety. And I was surprised to read in the research that I was doing that women are more prone to depression.
That's right.
Heartbreaking, but true. So, could you, as a health coach, as a wellness coach, can you recommend what women can do first to address their mental health? Because I think that mental health is as important as physical health as well.
Absolutely. And with again, as more and more data comes from the post-COVID, what we are seeing is an epidemic of mental health diseases, right? In fact, WHO, the World Health Organization, says the next pandemic is going to be of the mental health diseases. And actually, I feel it's already there, right? I mean, all of us, literally, people who are even watching this, know someone or themselves who are having unimaginative amount of stress, anxiety, even depression, right? Now,
People.
it impacts every part of our life, right? I mean, the moms, the even the single, ladies out there who are going to college or working, the amount of stress literally impacts every aspect of life, including physical health. So a lot of physical health issues. Now it's been said that the stress is the underlying cause because that causes inflammation to start off with, and then it kind of manifests into many other health issues. So no, it's not only just a mental issue now, it is actually a precursor to many physical health issues too. So luckily, we have so many good tools that we can use to manage that, right? And of course, number one is of course the meditation, right? I mean, these days meditation is not even out there, right? Everybody knows about meditation, and there are so many good tools out there. And I'm sure, I know you practice meditation regularly, and so do I, right? And it has such a profound impact on our health, especially women's health, right? So, because a lot of time the hormones that are causing a lot of these issues get settled down or get balanced just by regular practice of meditation, of course with good eating habits too. So first thing I always recommend is have a practice. Just sit for even 10 minutes, 15 minutes to start off with. and then slowly expand. But meditation is very big one. And then of course, if you have a breathing practice and stuff like that, that definitely helps.
Yes, I loved how you said is that mental health and physical health is interrelated, and of course, like I think very much so. Imagine you're in stress and panic, and that used to happen to me also. That when I was working, and you just want to reach for something to fulfill you. You just want to reach for like a candy bar. You want a sugar high. You want comfort food, which is like a cake or a pastry or a chocolate. And sometimes people even keep them in hand's reach, oh, on my office desk or something. I think that's a big no-no. But uh, I kind of agree that, when we're more calm and our mind is more settled, we can make better decisions,
Yes,
and reach for the right diet, reach for the right nutrition content,
absolutely.
and also address it through meditation. And Sahid, I agree. Like, long ago, meditation used to be just for the saints in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody is meditating.
A necessity now, right? I mean, it's not even a choice anymore because I mean, you need that time for yourself where you can sit quietly and I noticed that even the teenagers, right?
Hmm.
So much stress there, and you see all these kids who are going into these tendencies of
Hmm.
self-harm or harming others, right? I mean, if we have a practice of this practice even in the schools, how how much impact it will have in the whole society.
Absolutely great. That's wonderful. And then, of course, exercise. I do want to address that topic of exercise, being a fitness instructor. Uh, a lot of women, and as you're also a weight loss expert, women want, especially post pregnancy or even when they're looking into getting married or finding a life partner, the first thing I hear is, oh, I want to lose this weight like pronto, and then they'll do things that are more intense, and I feel that in fact causes more harm than good in the long term. They may get short term results, and these days the marketing is just so, oh, lose 20 pounds in 20 days and things like that. And I think that that's rather deceptive, because I think that for women, especially because we already deal with a very important aspect of a hormonal system, that goes into balance as fast as anything. So what kind of exercise routine or regime do you recommend for women?
So this is a very good question, of course, right? I mean, it's not even a choice anymore. It's again, as I was mentioning about meditation, it is a necessity now, that we must move our bodies, right? Now, having said that, I feel that it should be a practice. So anything that we make it into a practice becomes a habit, right? And when something becomes a habit, it becomes a part of your life. So anything that you do that becomes a habit and then you enjoy it also, that is when it's sustaining. And as you were mentioning that, if we have like, okay, if you have a very short term goal, then it is not long lasting, because once the goal is achieved, then it is like, okay, I'm done, good job. Not that there's anything wrong with that inherently, but then it's a very short term. But something that can become a long term, lifelong practice, that is what I feel is the best thing. And then, of course, you are a yoga instructor, and I have seen it personally that how you interact with people and actually teach them how to make it a practice. And I've seen how people actually enjoy it, because oftentimes we do something, we have willpower, okay, let's do that, but we really don't enjoy it. But if we are able to get into a practice, and for some people it could be something different, it could be gym or it could be something else, but I feel if you have it a practice, that is when it almost acts as powerful as diet, and in some cases even more, right? So, and why is that? Because when we move the body, what inherently we are doing is we are actually getting rid of the accumulated lymphatic system, right? A lot of lymph gets stuck in our lymphatic system, which actually plays a role in a lot of diseases. When we move, that is when the lymph system also moves. And it's also a stress buster too. So oftentimes we may not have time to sit, but we have time to move. So when we move, it actually gets rid of a lot of stress. So definitely, incorporate a practice. My favorite one is, of course, yoga, because it not only provide the flexibility, it actually strengthens the body as well. So do include that, and plus more if you want to do something else, definitely. But these practices are thousands of years old, so there is a reason they have been there. So definitely take use of that.
Yeah, thousands of years, absolutely. And I love how you mentioned that uh, it needs to be long lasting, and not, the short-term goals usually, uh, they're just going to harm the body in the long run. But when you pick something that's enjoyable and long-lasting, it can have amazing impact and benefit on the body as well, and then the internal body. So yes, I was one of those who was also on this weight loss fad many years ago, and I killed my body. I did all sorts of exercise routines, and not it just didn't work for me. And I think that's what um, made me, like, got me to sleepless nights. I got body pains, hormonal system was off, and a lot of things. And so I think that when I found yoga, it was just it was more restorative and more constructive in a way that it worked with the mind and the body as well. So thank you, yes, for sharing that. And my last question is, and on International Women's Day, what are your top five recommendations for women for their health and well-being?
Okay, so there are many recommendations. So let me see. So the first one, of course, is diet related. Eat a lot of plant-based foods. And when I say plant-based, I mean eat a lot of colorful fruits, a lot of colorful vegetables, because these are the ones which actually provide the prevention from the diseases. So whatever is in season, just go crazy on them. Eat a lot of berries, especially. Of course, second, move your body. Of course, as I was mentioning earlier, as you were mentioning, having a practice definitely helps a lot. But in case if you are for whatever reasons not inclined towards yoga, don't say, okay, I cannot exercise anything else. If you want to go for a run, go for a big long walk or anything, do something, right? But do not just sit, because sitting is
And I do want to add that uh, enjoy your exercise,
exactly, yes,
right?
very, very
And
important. Very, very important. Because if you're not enjoying, it's not going to last long. So definitely go for something that you really enjoy. Third, of course, is meditate. Meditate daily, even if for a few minutes. It's going to ground you, it's going to give you that stability and allow you to make the right decisions. Then another one is get connected to a community. So if you want to follow healthy diet and lifestyle, follow a health diet and lifestyle. If you want to do a regular yoga, be plugged in into that community. Because what I have noticed even in my practice, those who get plugged in, they're able to get energy out of there, and that is what sustains them when they're not feeling well or when they are at a risk of falling out of it. That group keeps you connected. So make sure you get yourself connected so that you are able to pull yourself out when in need. And the last one would be, well, there are two more, I'll put a bonus one there. Hydrate.
absolutely.
Hydration, very, very important. A lot of people are dehydrated, even if they don't feel like drinking water. Please drink enough water. You will see amazing changes in your body, even in terms of detoxification if you drink a lot of water, at least 8 to 10 glasses every single day. And then, of course, sleeping is as important as even hydration. So, sleeping early, and then sleeping enough, at least 7 to 8 hours, at least seven, if not eight. Definitely go for it. So yeah, in addition to that, just make sure you're having your vitamin D levels checked up and all these other good stuff. And I think you are good to go.
Well, that was an amazing comprehensive list. I think that, just keeping that on a post-it or a pin on your pin board and following it and making sure, yes, I've gotten enough sleep, I've got enough water, I'm eating healthy, I'm exercising, and I have a wonderful community. And I do agree, like, as women in general are very social people, and we like to talk, we like to gossip, constructive. And so I think that when women have support system and they support each other, I think it comes together. The whole lifestyle and uh, it uplifts the prana and their lifestyle gets better. So
Absolutely.
I think that is a very nice suggestion and recommendation. So thank you so much again, Syed Bhai. Very grateful to have you back on my channel. And what we'll do is we'll obviously bring you back and talk about more topics that I have already in mind.
Perfect.
But for now, I have put Syed Bhai's website, phone number, and email address in the description box of this chat. Definitely reach out to him. He's a wonderful guide and a mentor for holistic health and nutrition. He's helped me and thousands of people, and I feel like he was God sent for me. So thank you again.
Most welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy. Take care.